Yeah, I mean, when so many white people are so sure they're not racist, I always want to ask, how do you know? How can you be so sure? Where do you get your confidence that you're free of all racial bias? Howard Zinn, he made a point. You can't be neutral on a moving train. So if you can grant the idea, the understanding that systemic racism is actually the default, that means it's at play all the time. Then your so-called neutrality or lack of action is upholding it, right? There's just simply no neutral place.
There's something very liberating about this default. If you begin that it exists, that it is the default, that is the norm, then you have to separate yourself. You have to fight. You have to take steps to move away from that, to push off or push back from that. When your friends like you, it is your craze. And when your frenemies like you, it is your grace.
There's an interesting time when you work with some of the entertainment media companies when they do their own reviews. For example, the Walt Disney Company. It's always an interesting situation because on the one hand, the agencies are vying for the business from the Walt Disney Company. On the other hand, the agencies do billions and billions and billions of dollars worth of business with the Walt Disney Company. And what I've always counseled media companies on, in a contest where the losers are still your important partners, you have to make sure that they lose well. It's your grace when your frenemies like you, because you've just told somebody they've lost, and yet you need to continue to do a lot of business with them.
Is there an example of a company that plays defense and wins?
Not sustainable. No. Sports analogy. Defense may win you a game. It will not win you a season. It will not win you a championship. You will never form a dynasty. Can you win today, this week, this month, this quarter in a public company that just chases a bottom line at the expense of people and other things? Sure. Are you going to win in the long game with that strategy? Fundamentally, no. And to answer your question, yes. The companies that play defense are no longer around. Have you ever heard of the statement, we can't do that because we've always done it this way? Those companies play defense. You want to know some of those companies? I can think of a lot of big box retailers that don't exist anymore. What companies are extinct that didn't have to become extinct? And it's because they were stuck in a defensive mindset.
Joseph, you were making me think about an experience I had. Actually, it was actually the day that Alan Mulally retired from Ford Motor Company. Within, probably an hour or two of him announcing his retirement, I was on Maggie Lake's show on CNN when they cut the cameras and we were, getting unmiked and stuff. She said to me, why do you think that there's so few Alan Mulally's in the world, though? And the answer just clicks in your head without, like, it's something you've been mulling yourself for a long time, and then someone outside asking that crystallizes it for you. That's what happened there. And I said, because there's so many Jack Welches. And she literally was like, oh my gosh, you are so right.
By the way, I have to tell you, your new book, you're welcome. Here, it's going to be called Cloning Alan Mulally. The new book by Bryce Hoffman. Get it wherever books are sold.